Oh, this is Trace Larson, and this is my assignment 4.3 API in Symfony. It's a CRUD application, making a Twitter type application using Node front end and Symfony back end. So first off here you have the feed. Feed brings up all of the posts by everybody. You can like the post from here. If you click on the person's name, it takes you to all of their posts, and you can delete these posts. You can go to post, create a new post, and in here it's got all of the users that are available. So let's say Joe's going to tweet, hello, or chirp, name is Joe. Chirp it. There you go, there's Joe's tweet. Create a user. We can create a username Jim Jack at jack.com. 123. It's okay. Submit. Then just to see that you know that that new user is there, you can go to post and you can check it out here. Hey, there he is. There's Jim. And it's like I was just created. Chirp it. There he goes. Jim was just created. And then these likes, I think I showed that already. Okay, and to accomplish this real quick, starting off in the API, I started off by creating the API first, and go to my source here. Okay, I had two entities. I had the post entity. It's got ID, text, users, and likes. And I got users, which has a ID, username, email, phone, posts, and with that turns a collection because it's a many to one relationship. And then there is the controller. I just use one default controller. This method right here handles the feed, so to get rid of the circular reference error, I had to do this on several of these methods here. That took care of the error for me. Then you had to serialize the object, and then you use doctrine and did your query, found all the post, everything with the post class, and then returned that response. The response had to be serialized into JSON, and then here's the method for the feed by username. Pass in the username, and pretty much the same as above, but you, instead of find all, you find one by user ID. The user list is, I needed this to get the list of all the users to put in the drop down for the post. So this is where I got the list, and just finds all the users and serializes it as JSON, sends it back to the node server. This is to create a post. You have to convert the request object into an array that is from JSON that is decoded. And then you are allowed to use those parameters from the array. So parameters array ID, use that to get the user, and then the post, and then the because inside the database, to set the user, it takes a user object. So the set all of those, the fields, the text, and the user. The ID is set automatically. This was something I didn't think made a big deal. I didn't use it on the other post methods. I was getting a weird error that turned out because I wasn't sending the proper type of response. Then you got the user, create user, which is a really simplified version of this. You just get create another parameters array, and all those parameters you set them using the getters and setters in the entity. Get the post by ID. Said you pull in those, and then you get the ID from the parameter sent in. You set the likes. This is the put actually. So if you click on the button, it's gonna call this method pretty much, and then it's gonna set the likes. Whatever the get likes is, can add 1, and these can be null, so nothing's gonna show up until you click the button. You click it, and it's gonna show 1, 2, 3, 4, and so up, so on and so forth. And then delete, it's really easy. Just query doctrine, find the ID, and then remove, flush, and that deletes it. Now on to the front end, I have my routes, which is the feed. Feed gets all the users for the post, so router.get, and then I used axios.get this address to the Symfony server on this address. And then you get the response, a little ternary message here. If the response is there, if it is there, log success. If not, response from server was null. And then you create an array object, and then you set the response.data equal to response, and then you map that, use the map function to populate the feed array. Then you pass that feed array in when you render the page, render the view. Same thing for the user ID. You do a get and map that back to an array. So that's all the posts for one user, and this is all the posts. The index just goes to the index page, posts. This one creates a new post. This gets all the posts from the database. Or this creates a new post, you add that, and that also gets all the users. So you get the user list here, and then send that in to the create a post, so for the drop down menu, and then send a put. That redirects back to the feed. So this is basically, you make a update the likes. This one updates the likes. This one deletes the post based on the ID. So the put and the delete are the same. I was able to do a get with this one through a link, but this one I had to use jQuery, JavaScript, Ajax to do the delete through my public jQuery here, right here, pretty much. Function, click the delete button, and then it sends the delete request to the node server, and then it does the Axios call to the Symfony backend and deletes. Create a new one, creates a post, just sends the request body to the Symfony backend, and then then it redirects back to the feed. User is pretty much the same. Loads the create user page, and then once you do a post, submit a post from the user, it comes back to the same link, but using the post method, calls the Symfony backend for the user route, sends to the body, and then redirects you back to the feed after you're done. And my name is Trace Larson. Thank you for watching my video.